I'm Rick Harp. This is your APTN News Brief for Tuesday, March 12th. APTN News has learned a human rights complaint has been launched against Nishnawbe Aski Police Service Chief Roland Morrison. The complaint, which alleges sexist, racist, and abusive behaviour, was filed with the Human Rights Tribunal of Ontario by former head of finance Lori Payne. 2 other police service employees are also named in the complaint. Its filing dates back to January of 2023 and seeks a total of $225,000 in damages. None of the allegations have been tested by the tribunal. Last week, the Nishnawbe Aski Police Service Board suspended Morrison with pay, citing an independent investigation into allegations of misconduct. It is not known whether these allegations and the human rights complaint are related. To the Atlantic, where the lucrative Elvers fishery will stay closed for a second straight year. Also known as baby eels, Elvers are caught for export to Asia to be grown there for food. 1 kilogram of Elvers can fetch as much as $5,000. According to DFO, that's meant not only risks to conservation, but also conflict and violence between harvesters and DFO agents in recent years. And in a statement released Monday, Federal Fisheries and Oceans Minister Diane Laboussiere announced her decision to not open the Maritimes Region Elver fishery, adding responsible resource management and public safety must be paramount. An Indigenous-specific employment initiative is getting a $195 million boost from the federal government. Tina House now on a BC program whose work will be among those supported.
Through the Indigenous Fashion Week, they're going to give them the practicums and those opportunities throughout the year.
It's a busy day here at the Aboriginal Community Career Employment Services Society, also known as Access. Access has been providing employment and skill development programs for thousands of Indigenous people throughout the Lower Mainland since 1999. Today, Federal Workforce Development Minister Randy Boissonnault is here for an announcement.
On behalf of the Government of Canada, I'm happy to announce and celebrate that Access is receiving over $21 million for their Indigenous training and apprenticeship program. And this funding, under the Skills and Partnership Fund, is going to help Indigenous people in Greater Vancouver to get the skills they need to complete technical training in a skilled trade and eventually achieve Red Seal Journey Person status.
Sid Stevens is one of those tradesmen. He went through an Access program and is now a carpenter working on major construction projects. He says he owes it all to Access.
So I started with their program called the Blade Runners, which was an introductory into construction and gaining me a bit of certifications through that. Upon completion of that, I was so career driven on becoming a full carpenter. And I didn't know where I was going to go to for help in that scenario. And then 2 men by the name of Rob Egan, and he's not here today, but Gary Jobin. Without those 2 men, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today.
Lynn White is the CEO of Access. She says the $21 million will go a long way to expand their programs and services.
The funding that Access is receiving is and will continue to make a big impact on our urban Indigenous community. We are training hundreds of people, and they will fill much needed positions in the trades.
According to Minister Boissonnault, in the next 5 years, 700,000 skilled tradespeople are going to retire in Canada, which opens the doors for more newly trained tradespeople to fill those vacancies.
Our Indigenous people have been excluded from economic prosperity for too long, and we're working to come up into a life with meaningful employment and opportunity so that our young people will know that there is a path already cut out for them to follow.
Tina House, APTN National News, North Vancouver.
And finally, homophobia and transphobia in education was a subject of a weekend conference in Saskatoon. A meeting of women and gender studies students from the University of Saskatchewan. They discussed challenges at the secondary and post-secondary levels. Rachel May reports.
In October 2023, the Saskatchewan government invoked the notwithstanding clause to pass Bill 137, which makes parental consent required before a child under 16 can use a different gender-related name or pronoun in school. The Queering is Community event focused on supporting transgender and two-spirit communities, which Bill 137 affects.
This is something that we can't Deny is happening and is going to be here. It has always been here, right? Before that, nobody talked about it.
Joseph Natao Howe from Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation is a cultural advisor with the University of Saskatchewan's Law School. He spoke about his personal journey of learning about the 2S LGBTQIA+ community.
New to this community, and also understanding about queering, as community. I been working with Two-Spirit LGBTQ, non-binary plus. I've even had to learn the terms, the acronym or whatever you want to call it. Over the years, so I've been arm's length, but I'm still learning.
Fern Toop, co-leader of the Queering is Community Committee, says that seeing the support at events like this is quite special.
This is all in reaction to a government bill. And the fact that a whole bunch of students got together bolsters my soul a bit from all of the kind of abusive things that have happened towards trans and queer people lately.
Shuinisko is a Two-Spirit spoken word poet who attended the event. Shuina is a member of the Klamath tribe near southern Oregon and northern California who referred to Two-Spirit peoples as balanced relatives.
Our relationship to self and our spirit, because when we accept ourselves, when we have a growing relationship with who we are, our spirit, in the context of our environment, I think that allows us to feel confident and safe and reassures us that we'll be okay.
Attendees had the opportunity to write letters to members of Parliament about how they felt about Bill 137 in hopes of changing the legislation. As a notwithstanding clause can last for 5-year terms, all those involved in the conference are hoping to hold more events to show how many people are outraged by Bill 137 and continue to call for change. Rachel May, APTN National News, Saskatoon.
And that's your APTN News Brief for Tuesday, March 12th. I'm Rick Harp.